Hey guys, it's Naya from NWC Counseling, and you are watching Talk to Me Live Thursdays. I hop on every week on Thursday to share with you guys a video about mental health, emotional well-being, or just generally feeling good about who we are as women, or any individual that can benefit from this material. I am a licensed counselor, and so I have a private practice and I see clients throughout the week, and some of the issues that I hear from day to day, week to week, month to month, these themes, I have been putting together as series and presenting them so that I'm not only able to help the people that I individually get to work with, but I'm promoting information out on social media and other areas to start conversations and to help to reduce the stigma of mental health. This month, actually, our whole series has been about self-care. So last week, one of the things that we talked about was negative self-talk. And so essentially, that's going to be talking really negatively about ourselves. Really, once I start recording, I start to die. So I don't know. I'm okay. All right. So this week, the negative self-talk, that is the number one thing I think I work with a majority of clients with off the bat. Immediately after an assessment, I can tell how they think about themselves by all the small things they do, all the small ways they discount themselves, all the small ways they say and make self-deprecating humor jokes about themselves. Those things let me know that they don't really value themselves, or they really are struggling with their identifying their self-worth and feeling really good about who they are. In an article from Huffington Post, they state, on an unconscious level, our negativity is a defense mechanism, a protective device such that if something bad should happen, we won't be blindsided and devastated by it. By anticipating failure, we think we are softening the blow of failure should it occur. A lot of times our negative thinking is just to help us to avoid any type of failure or feeling any unexpected failure. In hindsight, the idea of negative self-talk is actually a defense mechanism. We actually do it to feel better. But that's the whole point of defense mechanism, is that we usually outgrow that, or it's very ineffective. Well, the type of therapy that I do is called CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. This therapy is all sexy for, I tell my clients, I help people to connect what they're feeling in their heart with what they're thinking about in their minds, with how they're behaving in their everyday world. So essentially, I help people to make connections about behaviors, thoughts, and feelings and how they work together. Oftentimes, people that come to see me want to make changes in their behavior. So we work backwards by thinking about what's happening in your heart and definitely what's happening in your mind and how that works in your behavior. Last week, I gave the homework assignment of trying to catch how many times you said something negative about yourself. The purpose of that was not so that you would actually make any changes that week. It was so that you would actually start to listen to yourself and the things that you say to yourself. So many people are surprised in therapy when I say, wow, it sounds like you say such really mean things. They're like, what do you mean? And I just list off all the negative things they said about themselves. And a lot of times they don't even realize they're saying it. It's an automatic behavior. Now, we all have unhealthy thinking styles, which are basically patterns of unhealthy thinking. Some of the most popular ones that I wanted to share with you today: mind reading and fortune telling. So when I have a client in my office who's doing some mind reading and fortune telling, I usually look at them real serious, like I lean all the way in and I go, I didn't know you had superpowers. And they go, what are you talking about? And then I say, you totally are predicting what's going to happen in 2 weeks, and you know what so-and-so is thinking without them even telling you. And of course, I'm being a little bit facetious, but it's the point that they actually don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks, and they actually don't know what so-and-so is thinking. When we are doing mind reading and fortune telling, we're trying to predict what people are thinking about us or how they're thinking about us. We're also trying to predict what series of events are going to happen in the future, and all of this is based on our prior experiences, so it makes it kind of biased. The second type of unhealthy thinking style that's really popular is black and white thinking. This type of thinking style involves basically when something is black or it's white and there's no gray. I have people that come in my office and they'll say, no one likes me. No one? no one likes you, like you're married and have kids, like none of those people in your house like you, it's just very unlikely that no one likes you. What they're really trying to say is they think a lot of people don't like them. And so I really try to help people to catch the fact that, hey, you're doing black and white thinking. Something has to be all terrible or it has to be all great. For people that suffer with anxiety, we see this a lot. So personalizing is the third type of really popular unhealthy thinking style and pattern. So what that is that when something happens, people tend to personalize things. This is a big deal for people because I tell people personalizing is taking something from the external world and tucking it in your heart as if it belongs to you. So a perfect example is you're walking down the office hallway at your job and you say, hey, what's up, to someone that you speak to fairly frequently, and they don't respond. They just walk right past you. Personalizing is you going, what did I do? Did I not call them back? Did I not send that report? Are they mad that I spoke over them in the meeting? And you spending about 30 minutes ruminating over the fact that they didn't speak to you and what you did. When in reality, they might not have heard you. In reality, they might have just been in their own world because maybe their partner just broke up with them. Maybe they just realized they left their keys somewhere, or they're really worried about something that has nothing to do with you. I also have some more popular types, and I'm gonna attach a PDF to this video so that if there's if you want to download it, I'll give you the link where you can go to download the PDF that actually has a breakdown of even more types of unhealthy thinking styles if those three don't really fit for you. So the last step is, how do you combat these things? Like if you're like, yes, black and white thinking is me, or of course I personalize everything, or you might be thinking, I really am a superhero and I have the ability to fortune tell, which you don't. That means you're delusional. You have to question yourself, just like you question other people when they sound a little off a little bit, or your kids come home and say something and you're like, what? Wait a minute. Your teacher said what? You want to question yourself when you have some of these negative thoughts, especially these type of pattern thoughts. So here are the questions you can ask yourself. If you're struggling with mind reading and fortune telling, you want to straight up ask yourself, what evidence do I have? My husband loves to make fun of me because he says that I don't really have facts, and then I base my facts off of stuff that I pull from the air. So he'll ask me a question like, how long should I cook this? And I'll just be like, 45 minutes. And he'll be like, you don't even have facts for that. Like, how do you even know? And I'll be like, this feels like it should be 45 minutes. You need to ask yourself, what is the evidence that I have for this? If you are thinking that in 2 weeks you have this feeling that something really bad is going to happen, you need to say, but what facts do I have to support it? What true hard evidence do I have? For black and white thinking, the question you want to ask, or the thing that you want to do, is avoid absolutes. When I have couples in couples counseling with me, and as soon as they start using absolutes like, well, he never, and she always, and it always happens, like, no, I throw that stuff right out. I don't even listen to it, because no one can always do something or never do something. As individuals, we're naturally flawed in that way. When you are struggling with that black and white thinking, to say, am I using absolutes? Is something all this way, or am I saying, because chances are it's something in the middle. It's a little bit of the gray area, basically. For personalizing, what you want to do is ask the question of, am I taking all the blame for this? Or on the flip side, am I blaming somebody else for something? So sometimes we as people, and this is like a deeper psychology lesson, but we as people can project things on people. We also can take on a lot of blame. We can say, this is all my fault, again, with the absolutes, and we can take on blame for things that really aren't all our fault. So you have to ask yourself, if you're in the hallway and you say hi to someone and they don't speak, you need to ask, am I blaming myself for something that I don't have all the facts for? Am I blaming myself for something? Could it be that this person has A, B, C, D? Maybe find some alternate questions that you might say, maybe I should figure out first if it's any of these things before I jump that it's me. So I hope this has been helpful. Of course, I don't want you guys to leave out of here without some practical things to work on. So out of the top 3 things that I mentioned to you earlier, as far as the unhealthy thinking styles, mind reading, fortune telling, black and white thinking, and personalizing, Which one do you think you use or have used recently, or that you tend to use the most? Go ahead and drop that down in the comments so that we can kind of get a group tally. But during the week, I want you to think about, pick one of those areas and actually try to use one of these popular types of combating. And then I want you to try to combat just one. Only try to do one. Don't overwhelm yourself with having to fix everything. We just take things one step at a time here. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I look forward to doing our next video, which is going to focus on the next few things that we talked about after our negative, unhealthy thinking styles. All right, guys, it's been real. Deuces.